Hi, I want to provide you a quick update about the OINP new employer portal. So to find out this update, what you have to do is just go to Google and type OINP 2025, and then you will be directed to the OINP official webpage. And if you go to June 12th, 2025, you can see that they are introducing a new employer-based portal system. So the first and foremost, you need to understand which streams will be impacted by this new change. So if you know the OINP system, you will see that there are certain categories. The first one is the job offer based categories, and the second one is the human capital based categories. And you do not have the business category because the entrepreneur stream is not functioning at the moment. So this will only apply to job offer based categories, namely employer job offer foreign worker stream, and employer job offer international student stream, and employer job offer in-demand skilled stream. So it will not have impact of any of the other human capital streams because it will be only limited to job offer streams. So if you have submitted an expression of interest under any other category, you need not to worry about this. But if you have submitted an expression of interest under the employer job offer stream, then you have to do certain things. So I will take you through step by step. Initially, what you have to keep in mind, if you have applied through human capital categories, you need not to bother. Then, if you want to know more details about each of these streams, I have done a detailed video explaining the requirements of each of these streams. So you can check the link in the description where I'm describing each of these streams in detail. So let's see what is changing. So in the new employer portal will provide the secure and user-friendly digital platform to replace the current paper-based application for approval of an employment position employer form. Employers will now initiate an application by submitting an employment position details directly through the employer portal before the applicant can register an expression of his interest. So what happens here is the first step needs to come from the employer's side. So the employer needs to submit through their portal. Then only you will be able to register an expression of interest. So if you have already submitted an application, that means like you have submitted an expression of interest and then you have received an invitation and then you are waiting for nomination, you need not to bother. Or else, like let's say, if you have already received nomination and you have applied for Canadian permanent residency at the federal level, again, you need not to bother. The only people will be impacted by this new change will be the people who have registered an expression of interest and waiting to get an invitation. So what we have to do here is now the employer is starting the process. So we have to let the employer know that they have to do their bit. So the key features they are announcing here is the first one, seamless integration with My Ontario for one window service delivery. So that is applicable to the employer. So that's they are going to do through the My Ontario account, and the online submission and management of applications, which is a very good thing in my personal opinion, because like it will streamline the process. Then direct communication between employers and the program. So that's again a very good change as far as I'm concerned, because sometimes employers are reluctant to hand over their documents like their business registration number, CRA details, and so on to an employee. And also like if the third party like lawyers or consultants are involved, so they will have to share with them as well. So in this new system, it's much more secure for the employer because they will be submitting documents directly to the OINP, not to the applicant. So that's a very good initiative. So because it's clearly mentioned that secure document uploads is one of the key features. So I'm eagerly looking forward to this because this will streamline the process and we will see more and more genuine employers helping their employees to get Canadian permanent residency through OINP nomination program. So then the auto population of application fields to reduce duplications. That's another good initiative. Then the ability to add employer contacts and authorized representatives and simplified tracking of applications. So all these features are like much needed change as far as I'm concerned, because the earlier system was misused by many people. So what they did was, even without contacting the employer, the people went and registered an expression of interest, hoping that the employer will help them with the employer form and the other supporting documents once they receive an invitation. So that totally undermines the entire purpose of this draw, because like the employer job offer streams are for people who are supported by employers who are telling that we are giving you a full-time, permanent and indefinite period job offer. So sometimes what happens is people go ahead and just register expression of interest, and then once they receive the invitation, the employer is not willing to support, because like the most of the time, I mean, not most of the time, you will only get 14 days to submit all these documents once you receive invitation. So then during those 14 days, they are unable to submit all the documents, and then that invitation will go in vain. So that's fatal for as far as the OINP is concerned, because like let's say they categorize based on the healthcare or childcare, they invite 300 applicants, and if 100 applicants cannot apply because they do not fulfill these requirements, then that will undermine the entire purpose of having this categorized draw. So under this employer portal system, since the first initiative is taken by the employer, then that will streamline the process. So what employer needs to do is they have to register, and then they have to submit your information through the employer portal, and then only you will be able to do the expression of interest. So sometimes people ask us whether we can we do it on behalf of the employer? No, unless and until they hire us, we cannot do it, because if the employee is the party we are dealing with, we cannot act on behalf of the employer, because the employer needs to do their bit. Once that is done, then we can register the expression of interest on behalf of the client. So that's one clear difference. So now if you see the required action, the prospective applicants will be able to work with their employers to reinitiate existing EOIs once the portal launches on July 2nd. So the portal is launching on July 2nd, just after the Canada Day. So you have to wait until they provide clear instructions. At this moment, they have not given the guidelines, and they have clearly mentioned in subsequent email that they are going to provide that by 2nd July. So I'm going to show you that as well. So from 20th June to July 2nd, 2025, registrants will be unable to create new expression of interest. So now we are unable to create new expression of interest. It makes absolute sense, because it's going to be useless to create one now because of the second point. So if you see on June 21st and 22nd, existing EOIs. So that means the existing expression of interest under the employer job offer streams will be automatically withdrawn. So don't worry if you get an email, because that's what's going to happen. All the EOIs will be automatically withdrawn by OINP. So it's not only you, it's all the job offer based applicants who have registered expression of interest previously will automatically be withdrawn. Then from June 27th, after the close of business, to June 29, 2025, the system will be unavailable for all OINP streams. Individual will be unable to access the current application and submit applications or register UIs. So that what they're talking about is a system maintenance, which is happening on June 27 and which is going up until June 29. So if you have planning to submit any documents under any other streams, avoid these dates. If you are under UI, don't worry, because this will not be applicable. So they're going to do the change in the system. So that's why the system is going to go through a maintenance phase. So then on July 2nd, employer portal will open for registration. So the employers can only register once the portal is open. So it will be up and running, hopefully by July 2nd. Then once the employer portal is available, employers will be able to register and provide employment position information, which will enable the applicants to re-register their EOIs. So the employer needs to provide this the information to the portal, UI information, the position information, which will we assume that will have the information which we had in the employer form. So so once they provide that, then we will be able to register an expression of interest on your behalf. So the automatic EOI withdrawals will affect EOI registrants under the following streams. So that clarifies the first clarification that I provided, like it will only be applicable to job offer based streams, namely foreign worker stream, international student stream, and in-demand skills stream. So please continue to monitor the page for more information about the employee portal, including detailed information about the new employer-led process by July 2nd. So they will provide more clarity on this as we come close to July 2nd. So the essence of this change is that the portal is going to be employer-based or the employer-led portal. So as I mentioned previously, I am totally in favor of this change, because that will streamline the process and that will give more genuine applicants more opportunity, and the province will also benefit because they will see lesser number of applicants who are not qualified receiving invitations. So that's something they're trying to avoid right now. So if you have already registered an expression of interest, you should have received an email like this. It clearly says that the OINP is launching an employer portal that will allow employers to submit and manage their applications online. This email is to inform you that your expression of interest has been automatically withdrawn. So which was clearly communicated that they're going to do on June 21st and June 22nd. So if you have received email like this, don't worry, because everyone will eventually get this email, because all EOIs under job offer based system will be automatically withdrawn. So what you have to do is to submit a new expression of interest. Check the program updates page to confirm when the employee portal will be available. So they have said that it will be available by July 2nd. So once it is available, links to the portal and user guide will be posted on the OINP website. So it's very clear we have to wait till this user guide is published. So hopefully by July 2nd. So no need to rush, because normally when they have like this kind of a major change, they will not have a draw immediately. So you have a little bit of time, right? So let's hope that, because anyway, if you closely follow the YNP draws, normally it's happening on Tuesdays. So this July 2nd is a Wednesday. So then we can safely assume that they're not going to have draw at least that week. Hopefully, they will give a little bit of breathing space for people to register the expression of interest, but you need not to worry, because anyway, it's starting July 2nd is a Wednesday, so highly unlikely they will have a draw that week. So then you have to inform your employer that they will have to use the portal to register their account and provide information about your employment. So that will be the first starting step, right? Because without your employer providing this information, unfortunately, we will not be able to register an expression of interest. Then after they provide the information, you will receive a job offer ID via email. So that's when you can go ahead and submit a new expression of interest. So we will get a job offer ID through email. Once that is done, we have to go and create an expression of interest. So that's the process. Employer register the information on your behalf and you will get a job offer ID, and then you can go and register expression of interest. So need nothing to panic, because it's clear instruction is given here. So wait till the portal is open and then the employer do their bit, then get the job offer ID, then you can register your expression of interest. Then you will see a restriction as far as the OPS is concerned. So if you read, please note that the expression of interest or the application submitted under the OINP where the Ontario Public Service OPS or an OPS entity is listed as the employer will not be accepted. So if your employer is the OPS, Ontario Public Service, unfortunately you will not be able to submit an expression of interest, because the OPS is not currently participating in OINP. So all other government agencies and corporations that are not staffed by OPS employees will be considered as separate legal entities and may be eligible to participate as an employer in the OINP if they meet all other employer eligibility criteria. So that's basically the update about this new OINP portal change. So in summary, they are going to introduce employer-led or the employer-based portal system. So the employer needs to register information in the portal. Then you will be getting what is known as the job offer ID. Then that you will be emailed your job offer ID. Once you have that job offer ID, you can go ahead and submit an expression of interest. So I hope that clarifies. So once the portal is up and running, we will have more information. And on July 2nd, once we have more information, I'll do another follow-up video on this. So until then, take it easy. So once we have more information, you will hear from us. Thank you and wish you all the very best.